Hey guys, RagingRaptor here, and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks news video. And today we have three major little news about what I want to talk about. First one being, as you already can see, the 1.0.1 patch release date. Then we have the 1.0 future video digest, which shows the most important things. And then we have a new or two new Supertest maps, which are being tested right now for the Grand Battles mode. So I guess let's jump right into the 1.0.1 patch release date, which is scheduled for the Russian server on May the 2nd, or from the night the 1st to the May the 2nd, which is from Tuesday to Wednesday. And well, we will most likely get it as per usual from Wednesday to Thursday, from the 2nd to the 3rd. So yeah guys, hype for that. Next week we will get our Italiano tanks. And the very good prosciutto funghi tank. E calzone. E quattro straccione. And I stopped throwing random Italian words at you. The next thing, or the next major thing, is now the World of Tanks, the future begins with 1.0 digest. I really should say that you should check out the official video of Wargame, which talk about this. They show some neat stuff, but I also have to say it's a lot of patting themselves onto their back how good, in quotation marks, they did. And well, let's be honest, it's just a lot PR talk. So this digest shows you basically all the necessary or important informations being cut down to what they really need to be. So the first information is regarding maps. We are not being sneaky here. Province is a map for the Italian branch. It's very unique, it has its own style. Of course it's small, even after increasing its size to 850 square meters. But we'll see how it plays. Visually it's very good. So first and foremost, Province is like an old map, and playing tier 10 on that map was atrocious, yet kind of funny. It was a huge camp fest, but still it was kind of weird and funny. Then they put it down to only low tiers, and when you had an FCM 36 pack 40, well, it was GG. It was almost always a guaranteed scout and patrol duty medal, because the map was so small and you were easily able to spot over the above ridges. Now with 850 square meters or 850 length of one side, well, no, it's kind of decent. I think it's quite decent from the size, and they're right. The map visually looks awesome. I have to say, when you are on this map, you really feel like being in an Italian little province, and you're just waiting for some guy coming out in its tank top t-shirt, in his white tank top t-shirt, saying something like "Papri puppi, calzone, Papa, where is my spaghetti?" Or something like that, I don't know. I could also say something like, what's it called, an insult in Italian, but I don't do it right now. Then they also say that Studzinka, or how it is pronounced, again, I'm not Polish, I'm Swiss, are of course connected with Poland, since it's obviously a Polish map, inspired by a historical place. It was a bit easier to make since it's not a city map. So, well, we get Province with the Italians, we get Studzinka with the Polish. It is, as far as I remember, it's just quite an open map, and they also say that it's much easier to make because it's not a city map, and that's understandable. Let's be honest, in a city map, well, you need to texture different houses, you need to texture different holes, vehicles, and so on and so forth. So it's definitely not that easy, I understand that. Then the next thing is regarding Kharkov. We have two ways out. We can tweak the old map or make a totally new one, but with the characteristic plaza. So the old map, let's be honest, isn't really that great. It wasn't really that great either. It always looked so dark anyway, and it was simply heavy tanks, like Paris, and we all dislike Paris, let's be honest here. And what they're talking about, like, this is original, or this is like real Kharkov right now on Google Maps. This is the plaza we are talking about, or what Wargaming is talking about, and this is also where you usually played. Here, back here, the clickers were camping. Here roughly was a more or less open field where people could drive around. Here the heavies are clashing, obviously. Those houses didn't exist in the game, I think, or just as ruins or something like that. And yes, the artists of the enemy other team mostly camped behind here, and you were able to boost somehow into here. But yeah, they want to either completely renew the map, maybe make this a wider place over here, or completely focus on that plaza and maybe go something down like here. I don't know. We will see what they come up with, but honestly, I'm not really liking Kharkov anyway, so meh. I don't really look forward to that change. Next up is we want to revive a few old maps. I won't give names, but it's not Dragon's Ridge. Come on, man. Dragon's Ridge is a fun map. Like, it's one of those maps which is just have good old memories with me. When you don't remember what Dragon's Ridge is, it's a map which got removed ages ago, like a real long time ago. And you can see it kind of looks like this. It has a lot of height in it, so tanks of good gun depression are awesome at this map. And well, yeah, it is an interesting map nevertheless. And back in the days, I played Black Prince on that map, or T28 heavy tank, T28 prototype. Let's see if we can get a good picture of the minimap again. I just had it before. There, this one. Usually you went with mediums around here. You were able to go all the way down those rice fields without any problem. Most of the time with the heavies you went over here and clashed before you went up or down. But you had to watch out for the mediums which were sniping you from the upper part. Personally, I wouldn't mind if Wargame would also bring back this map. It was also quite an interesting and fun map in my opinion, but oh well, some people didn't like it apparently. But yeah, they are also saying I'm talking about really old maps which we removed a long time ago, and now we want to cover with a new coat of paint. So other maps like could be, as already shown, this map right here, which I forgot the name of, but they might also bring back maps like, what is this even? Swamp, for example. They could maybe also bring back map like Swamp, which, well, right now is not in the game anymore. And I think there also was a Komarine. What? Oops. A really old map. You can see here, this is the heat map from Vibadict. And this is also one of the old map, or South Coast. World of Tanks. This is like, I think this is probably my favorite map in the game which they removed. I'm sad that this is not in the game anymore, but yeah, this could also be a map which they could bring back into the game. What they're saying right now is that they want to revive the port map with a 2-in-1 plan. So maybe with a new map, new mode, but who knows? This is how port looks like, or looked like. They removed it because with the introduction of the mechanic, where you are able to penetrate walls, brick walls, cars, and so on and so forth, and your shell will only lose 25mm of penetration. This map got really unbalanced because you had to play a lot with those walls to actually do a decent job as a heavy tank over here. So well, they removed it, so we'll see how it comes. Honestly, I look forward to it. It's a fun map. It has trains in it, so it's obviously a favorite of mine. But yeah. The next thing we have is they are working on new maps too. The plans for a new are a city map and a half countryside map and some specific regions. For now, our programmers are working on adding effects and such. So yeah, we'll get a new city map. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to that. And we get a countryside map. For those two maps, we don't really have any news about it. There are some old news about a port map. Maybe I can find it with this quick little searching. Yeah, we actually found it. There are actually two maps, airport and ports. And maybe they show us the minimap right here. Sorry for my computer being actually quite slow. No, they don't show the pictures. Darn me. There are several maps they're trying right now in the Supertest, but those are a little bit old. They're from January, so yeah. This is this port map, which has some tunnels. We are fighting against Bismarcks, which are docked right now, and this is the airfield map, I think, but I'm not, or Japanese port or airport map. This is the airport map. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with those maps. But those maps look interesting nevertheless, but oh well, we'll see how it goes. Next up with that we can make some nice stuff using Havoc. We will see what will come. A lot of experiments are in motion. We have the tech, we want to use it fully or to its full potential. We can't promise anything like night battles, sunsets, destructions or weather effects. If the players like something, it might appear in the game. So yeah, I think the most important thing is that Wargaming can introduce things which are shown in this really poor video. I'm sorry that it's so poor. You can see that the side skirts of the IS-4 are moving around or wobbling around. The track link right behind here is wobbling around. Even the fuel tanks can move around. Maybe it's shown around in different part of the video. Here you can see that the side skirts are moving left and right because the tank is moving. And this is obviously this dynamic destruction which we more or less have right now, but they also want to introduce something which allows you to shoot or destroy buildings like that instead of just pieces by it, but we don't know yet. Another thing which they could do with Havoc is, look closely, this is from World of Tanks console. Now look closely what we have right here. Not only the gun mount is wobbling around, and the antenna of the radio operator or the radio is also wobbling around. So this could also be something they could introduce into the game. One last thing is they could also introduce something like, what's it called? Where like your dev toaster is able to deploy its shield or something. There's a mod right out there which actually does that. So let's see if we can find that one. World of Tanks mod. How should I say? Advanced. I'm just thinking how I could vehicle models. Maybe like this. It's a really specific mod. Yeah, it looks like Death Games already what's it called? Death Games already covered that. So we have a quick look at it because actually it's Falconet's UML mod. It's a really great mod. Let's thank you very much, Des, for that name. Really like that, for helping me find that. There are several GIFs out there, and it's freaking amazing what you can do with that mod. Like, it's absolutely crazy what he's doing with that. Let's have a look. Maybe it's showing something. No, this is, I don't know. It's also not that. Controls, how to previews there. Maybe that one. Okay, there are also just other people. This one. That's what I want to show. This is like awesome. This is what Wargaming theoretically could introduce into the game. See that? That looks freaking awesome. So theoretically, if Wargaming really wants, they could say that the dev toaster is not a dev toaster anymore and gets the Stritzwagen mechanics. Theoretically. And this is something which looks fantastic in my opinion. If they would introduce something like that, that would be simply amazing. And you can see here he is trolling us with Chieftain, and you can see you could theoretically also use something like the lights up here. Maybe even increase your view range. Or here you can see artillery pieces could use their... if anybody knows how they are called, please tell me. I know that they're used to... not straighten, to keep the artillery decent, not rocking around so much. You can see even the E-25's little gun mount on the top can move around. It actually looks pretty darn cool. Here, I'm not sure what is so special about that. Let's go back. Ah, yeah, right. I think that... yeah, this one right here, which is also moving around. Plus, I think he also made that... yes, this part right here is going down when you are starting the game. The one which holds the gun correctly. And we can also see it here with the Scorpion Tier 7 TD of the Americans. These are just small little things, but they look really cool. Maybe multi-turret is also maybe a mechanic, and you can see even those are just for show and tell, but it's actually so cool in my opinion. It's a really great mod, and I think Wargaming, if they would introduce something like that with the new Havoc engine, that would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, next up is, right now, the most important thing is new content, namely the Italians and Poles, just like we promised. The Italians have a new mechanic and some really interesting tanks, especially in high tiers, and I can't deny that the mechanic is cool. The high tier tanks are decent enough in my opinion. The Procede 56 65, the tier 10 vehicle, is skill based and not something like Type 5 Heavy or Object 268 version 4. The Pantera is amazing with its 1000 horsepower engine. So yeah, this is cool. And there are new game mechanics. There also will be new game modes even this year. New game modes most likely for the World Cup in Russia, I think. And the new game mechanics, maybe it's something like making smoke screens. Maybe it's something which it just showed that you can use additional guns on your vehicles. That would make tanks like a mouse much more interesting to play. Who knows? But I think the most important thing from all this digest is Personal Missions 2.0 will appear this year. My prediction is Waffenträger auf E100 will be the tier 10 reward tank. Other than that, I don't really have other predictions except for the Aufklärungspanzer 5, which is the AFK Panther, which got removed quite some time ago. And maybe the T-34E, which I just previewed earlier this week. Then we are working on new equipment, which is also really darn cool in my opinion, because let's be honest, high tier gameplay when it comes to equipment, tank gun rammer, Vents optics. Or tank gun rammer, vertical stabilizer, optics. Or if you don't have enough fuel range, you just take vertical stabilizer, that's it, nothing else. So new equipment, that sounds cool. Then they are planning a lot of events for our players, which is okay, I guess. It's again a PR thingy. And then they are getting to work on premium tanks. Namely, the KV-5 will be tested soon. Thanks God. Like, the KV-5, it's so trash right now. You can't play it anymore. I really do hope that they probably want to introduce something like they did in World of Warships, where premium vehicles have the ability to get different guns. I would love to see the Jagdtiger 88 with the possibility to get the 12.8 centimeter gun of the stock Jagdtiger, like the stock Jagdtiger gun or the Scorpion G gun. But then this tank should get into tier 10 battles. But if you equip something like the 88 gun again, then obviously you should not get in tier 10 battles, just in tier 9 max. That would be awesome. The last thing we have for today is that there are 2 new maps in the Grand Battles mode, and I have to say, well, Grand Battles mode, not many people play it, sadly enough, because it's actually not a bad mode. It's good for grinding missions, it is good for grinding bonds, so that's cool. And you can play a little bit brain dead because, let's be honest, it doesn't get into your statistics. One is just a mirror map, which just looks boring in my opinion. Both of those maps are set in the Soviet summer and should show the clash between the Wehrmacht and the Soviets, obviously. The last map though, this looks pretty interesting. They want to try to do something like where you have one more or less attacking team and one more or less defending team. You have the city in the middle for the heavy tanks to clash around, but you have flanking opportunities. So it looks really darn interesting in my opinion, and I look forward if they pick this map. But anyway guys, what do you think? I personally think that the personal missions and the KV-5 balance changes are amazing. The new mechanic will also be really cool to see, and what they're doing with Havoc. I thank you so much for watching, and now I wish you a great day. Bye bye!